He was a dying man who let us witness the last stages of his journey.
Maybe the distance between life and death isn't as great as you think.
He was, at one and the same time, original and unpredictable.
I think I'm less humble now than I was before.
Really?
Believe it or not.
He shared his fears openly.
Is it horrible, death? Are you choking or yeah? For how long?
And he shared his many lessons.
I have a little aphorism. Don't let go too soon, but don't hang on too long. Find the balance.
Conversations with Morrie Schwartz. Lessons on living. There is one fundamental difference between this program as you watch it tonight and the version which appeared on Nightline. Morrie Schwartz is dead now, and we know how the end came. He died at home within just a few hours, as it turned out, of Yitzhak Rabin's assassination. That event obviously got a whole lot more attention and was totally unexpected. Morrie's death had been anticipated for some time. And when it came, it was almost a footnote to the process of dying, which he had chosen to share with his family and friends and ultimately with a national television audience. I learned of Morrie through a long and sensitive piece in the Boston Globe. Here was this 70-something former sociology professor from Brandeis who was dying and who thought that he might do some good by sharing with people what dying was all about. What began as a journalistic project for me quickly evolved into a personal friendship. What began as an idea for one program ultimately became 3. The point is that neither Morrie nor I knew when our relationship began quite where and how it would end. Looking back on it, I think everyone involved was glad that we'd done it. At the outset, though, Morrie wasn't altogether sure that he wanted to do a television interview with me, but he was willing to consider the proposition. I had to audition for the supporting role in this human drama. Morrie was afraid I might be too stuck up for the part. Television anchors who normally enjoy a broad, if shallow, fame tend to diminish in importance in direct proportion to where you're going. Morrie is going to die. Before he does, he has some preconceptions about me that he wanted to share.
You're narcissistic.
I'm narcissistic?
Yeah.
No.
You're not really.
I'm too ugly to be narcissistic.
I thought you was a narcissist when I saw you on TV.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because you acted as if you knew everything. And I said to your crew today, this is going to be a tough one for him because he doesn't know anything about dying.
That's true. No.
And I know more than you do.
He does indeed. Morrie, and it's not out of lack of respect, but at his insistence that everyone calls him by his first name, Morrie knows more about dying than most people would care to learn. He suffers from a disease called ALS, better known as Lou Gehrig's disease. While the senses and the intellect remain intact until death, the nerve cells which feed and stimulate the body's muscles gradually disintegrate. Morrie has already lost the use of his legs. Before too long, the hands and arms will go, and eventually he will lose the ability to chew and swallow and talk. So while he still can, this one-time sociology professor at Brandeis, he does, to the joy and amazement of family and a widening circle of friends alike.
I half-kiddingly told some of my friends it's sort of like driving Professor Daisy, in that there's just a wonderful charm and warmth to him that, you know, makes this a joy in many ways.
9 million people out there, give or take, you know, 500,000 here or there. 9 million people who are watching you right now.
Right.
And saying, what can this old guy tell me that's going to help me when I get to a similar point? I mean, we're not all going to die the same way.
I can give you a number of statements, didactic, 1, 2, 3, 4, that may or may not mean anything to you. First, talk about it. Don't hide in the corner. Don't try to conceal it as if it's something horrible, because all it does is destroy your self-esteem. It's very important to keep that self-esteem. 2, accept it. This is you. You are a disabled person. I'm not ashamed of that, as long as I have my mind and my heart. 3, keep an open heart and open it up further and further and further until you encompass as much as you can with your love. Sounds kind of soppy, but it's not. It's not. 4, be alert and aware to the things that really interest you and go for it. Be involved. 5, be compassionate. Be compassionate to yourself, to other people. 6, treat yourself gently. Be kind to yourself. You didn't create your illness, so you shouldn't be punishing yourself for having that illness. Okay, yes, I said something about mourning before. The mourning never stops. There are some mornings when I cry and cry and mourn for myself. That this is my sorry past. I got dealt this hand. Some mornings I'm angry and bitter, but it doesn't last too long. Then I get up and say, I want to live. So I have to cry, and I have to mourn, but I also have to enjoy the life I have left.
Morrie is the first to admit his good fortune in having such a